Hey, I'm Robert, Cook Saw Manufacturing. We're going to test out an MP32 today. This is our package 2. It's got a little bit bigger engine on it, 25 horsepower. So we're about to get a blade on here, get a log on it, and make a few cuts, see how it's cutting. Call the customer and let them know that it is ready to go. So we've got the squaring arms on our mill, and we've got a foot peg here on the side. So we can easily operate that squaring arm without having to reach over, across the log, fight with it. But when I put those arms up, I do want them to stay in place and not fall down. So when they've got a little bit of slack in there like that, we've got set screws here on the side of each squaring arm. This particular mill has 3, standard mill has 2, but we can snug this set screw up right here. And that'll put a little more resistance on this arm, so when we put it at a spot, we know it's going to stay there. So we'll tighten that up. Just a quarter to a half turn. We'll come down, snug them all up. There is little pieces of nylon in there that is wearing on it. You can also use weed eater string in place if that nylon ever wears out on you. All right, let's see what that looks like. We'll kick those arms up, put them down at an angle. It's staying right where we want it to. I'm not having to fight it. It's really going up and down, moves pretty easy. But when I put it at a certain spot, it's gonna stay there and I'm not having to fight it and the log at the same time. So we do have a roller guides, and those should be preset for us. Now we do want to double check that. After a little bit of runtime, may have some movement just as it's a brand new machine. But we'll go ahead and get that blade on. Let's see if we can set this thing. Blade unfolded. Y'all know how sharp these blades can be. Good pair of gloves certainly goes a long way. Saving your hands. Just work that blade around the band wheels. Line it up on the wheels. I don't have to get it perfect. We got some crown on those band wheels, but we'll get it close. Come around and we'll get that tension in place. Bring it up. Line it up, flush there. We'll spin it around a little bit, see what that looks like for us. So I've got that gullet just past the front edge of the band wheel. That's what I'm looking for. I can go back a hair, I can come out a hair, but if I catch my fingernail on it, that's right where I want it to be. Oh, the wheel looks good as well. Okay, so we've got our log on the mill. Not much of a log, red oak. It'll work great for testing this machine out, knowing it's gonna cut good. Not gonna get a whole lot of good lumber out of this log, but that's not what we're here for. We want to make sure this machine's cutting good when it goes out the door. Now I want to bring my squaring arms down about midpoint, try to find that center line best we can. Okay, so we got our log clamped on the mill, bring our blade up to it, make sure we're going to clear down our line there. That's going to clear. May bring that arm out just a hair. It'll be close, but I don't want to have to fight it as I'm cutting. So this mill has not been cranked, at least not outside. I have not cranked it. Get our drip system going. I do have diesel fuel in there now. We're going to turn it up a little bit high. That felt pad's wiping on the blade for our lubrication. I want to get that good and saturated before I started. We'll come back to about a drop a second. So we've got the Kohler 25 horsepower on this one. It is electric start, fuel injected. Got a little hour meter we put on them. We've got 5 minutes running this one. So just where they got it set up in the shop, make sure it's crank, fire off. Get our blade going. Now on a new machine, I want to get under there and I want to check that blade, see where it's at on the roller guide. The easiest way to do that is to come down underneath, make sure that blade's not hitting that guide tight. But we are just off of that guide. We'll make a couple cuts, see where that blade ends up riding at. Always want to saw at full throttle. It puts at 3,600 RPM.
So we're cutting good. Got a hard spot right in there. It's a little bit of dive on it. Now that is rough cut lumber. Let's take a look at it, see if we can adjust our guides, do a little bit better. So right in here is where I was seeing that dive. We'll get some of that sawdust off of here. Got a 4-foot level. So I do believe we can do a little bit better. So I want to get a good straight edge across my 2 cutting bunks. We've got a blade alignment tool, and we sell these tools. They're less than $20. You can give us a call and we'd certainly get you set up on one. But it clamps across the blade. We've got set on the T, so I do want to be in between there. Clamp that tool down, and I can tell if that blade's tilted up or down. And the better I can get this lined up using our guides, the better I'm gonna be able to saw. So we are at 4 and just a hair over an eighth, not quite 3/16. And we are at 4 and about 3/8. So we'll bring that down. Before we do, spin this tool over, see what our other guide looks like. And we are 4 1/4 and 4 1/4. So that looks right where I want it to be. And to adjust these guides, we've got our square head bolts. We'll start by loosening these jam nuts here. We'll go ahead and get one of the side loosened, the top and the bottom. 4 1/8, 4 3/8, maybe just a hair over on the outside. So we're going to tilt this down. So we're going to loosen our top square head bolt, a 3/4 turn, and then we're going to reach under and tighten our bottom bolt here, and that's going to pivot that guide. So now we're at 4 3/16, maybe just a hair over, almost 4 1/4, and 4 and just a hair over 3/16. So I'm less than a 32nd off. Let's tighten that back down and make another cut with it. A little bit of bow up on the end. That's just stressing the log. That's not our cut there. Let's pull it off, put a straight edge on it, and see how that looks for it. Got our level back on there. That looks pretty good. We'll go through, check the rest of our bolts, make sure everything is good and tightened down. Have any loose parts, just do a double check on everything, and this mill will be ready to go to the customer. We're going to try to start doing some of these videos, try to get out a couple a week. So if you've got any ideas, anything you want to see, leave us a comment. We'd be happy for any suggestions. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and we sure appreciate it.